A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, but a little reflection is enough to find the truth. What if I told you that some people are already turning to AI-powered Quran apps instead of scholars for religious guidance? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's happening. People are asking AI for fatwas, tafsir, and even rulings on Islamic matters. But here's the real question. Can an AI truly replace an Islamic scholar, or is it just a dangerous shortcut? In today's digital world, AI has taken over almost every aspect of our lives. From writing emails to diagnosing medical conditions, artificial intelligence is everywhere. And now, it's even interpreting the Quran. AI-powered Islamic apps claim to provide tafsir, hadith references, and even answers to complex Islamic questions in seconds. But can a machine truly grasp the depth of Islamic knowledge the way scholars do? More importantly, should we trust AI when it comes to matters of faith? In this video, we'll break it all down. Technology has always been a powerful tool in spreading Islamic knowledge. From the days of handwritten manuscripts to the invention of the printing press, radio broadcasts, and now digital applications, Islam has consistently adapted to new ways of preserving and sharing religious knowledge. But AI is different. It doesn't just store and distribute information like a book or a website. It processes, interprets, and generates responses to Islamic questions, creating an illusion of understanding. This is where the real challenge begins. AI-powered Quran apps are now claiming to provide tafsir, exegesis, hadith verification, and even fatwas, Islamic rulings, at the touch of a button. Some apps promise instant answers to complex religious questions, removing the need to consult scholars, read books, or spend time deeply reflecting on Islamic teachings. It's fast, it's easy, and for many, it feels like a revolutionary breakthrough. But is this convenience helping us or harming us? Is AI truly a reliable source for religious guidance? Or is it just a dangerous shortcut that could lead people away from true understanding? Let's break it down and see why AI-powered Quran apps might not be as harmless as they seem. AI-powered Quran apps rely on machine learning, natural language processing (NLP), and vast databases of Islamic texts to generate responses. They are trained on thousands of Islamic books, fatwas, and scholarly interpretations, allowing them to quickly retrieve and present information when a user asks a question. Here's how it works. Data collection AI scans and stores vast amounts of Islamic literature, including translations of the Quran, hadith collections, and tafsir books. Pattern recognition, the AI learns to recognize common Islamic questions and how they've been answered in scholarly texts. Generating responses when a user types a question. The AI selects the most relevant information from its database and presents it in an easy-to-read format. User personalization, some apps even customize answers based on the user's sect, school of thought, or past interactions with the AI. It sounds impressive. With such technology, wouldn't it be easier for Muslims to access Islamic knowledge without having to rely on scholars? That's what many people believe. And this belief is spreading fast. A quick look at the Play Store or App Store reveals hundreds of AI-powered Islamic apps, many of them boasting millions of downloads. People are using them instead of scholars, books, or even live Islamic lectures. The appeal is obvious. No waiting for a scholar to answer your question. Just type it in, and AI gives you an instant response. No need to study in depth. Just skim through a short AI-generated answer. No risk of human bias, or at least that's what people think. But here's the real issue. Islamic knowledge isn't just about retrieving information. It's about wisdom, understanding, and spiritual depth. And AI lacks all three. While AI-powered Quran apps seem like a blessing at first glance, they come with serious risks that many people don't consider. Let's break down the biggest problems with trusting AI for Islamic knowledge. 1. AI doesn't understand context. The Quran is not just a collection of words. It is divine revelation. Every verse has a historical context, linguistic depth, and spiritual meaning that requires careful study to fully grasp. Take, for example, the famous verse, "There is no compulsion in religion." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:256. An AI app might simply return this verse as an answer when someone asks, "Does Islam allow forced conversion?" But a scholar would explain the historical background, the scholarly interpretations, and how this verse fits into Islamic law as a whole. Without this context, a person might misinterpret the verse and apply it incorrectly. AI lacks the ability to truly understand the deeper meanings behind Quranic verses. It merely regurgitates text without knowing why it was revealed or how it applies to real-world situations. 2. Misinformation and errors. AI is only as good as the data it is trained on. If an AI app is trained using inaccurate or weak sources, it will generate misleading or even dangerous answers. For example, if an AI Quran app pulls from unverified hadith collections, it might spread fabrications or misinterpretations that contradict authentic Islamic teachings. Worse, some apps may even invent hadiths that don't exist, a problem that has already been observed in AI-generated religious texts. There have been cases where AI-powered Islamic chatbots provided conflicting answers to the same question, fabricated hadiths that don't exist in any authentic collection, incorrect fatwas based on flawed logic, or incomplete information. Now, imagine someone relying on these AI-generated answers to guide their religious practices. The consequences could be disastrous. One of the biggest dangers of AI-powered Islamic apps is who controls the AI. AI doesn't think for itself. It simply follows the rules and data given to it by its developers. This means that whoever programs the AI can control the type of information it provides. For example, an AI Quran app developed by a secular organization might filter out conservative Islamic rulings. On the other hand, an app created by an extremist group could provide radical interpretations that mislead users. This is a serious issue. If AI-generated Islamic knowledge is controlled by those with an agenda, it could be used to promote biased, distorted, or even completely false versions of Islam. Even if an AI Quran app could generate perfectly accurate responses, it would still lack one crucial thing: spiritual wisdom. Islamic scholars don't just read books. They spend decades reflecting, praying, and learning from teachers who pass down knowledge through an unbroken chain. They develop spiritual insight that AI can never have. For example, if someone is struggling with their faith and asks AI, "How can I strengthen my iman?" the AI might list practical tips like reading Quran, making dua, and praying on time. But a scholar would go deeper. They might ask about the person's personal struggles, offer real-life examples, and provide heartfelt advice based on wisdom and experience. AI cannot offer that. It cannot understand human emotions. It cannot provide personalized spiritual guidance. It is nothing more than a cold, mechanical system providing generic responses. As AI Quran apps continue to grow, we have to ask ourselves, what happens if Muslims become dependent on AI for religious knowledge? Imagine a future where people stop consulting scholars and rely solely on AI-generated fatwas. AI apps begin to modify Islamic rulings based on political correctness or corporate interests. Young Muslims grow up learning about Islam from machines instead of real teachers. This is not a distant possibility. It is already happening. And if we don't take this issue seriously, we might reach a point where true Islamic scholarship becomes obsolete, replaced by lifeless AI-generated answers. AI-powered Quran apps rely on algorithms trained on existing tafsir, hadith collections, and scholarly opinions. They use massive databases of Islamic texts and, based on user input, generate a response that seems relevant. Some even mimic human-like reasoning, making their answers feel personal and convincing. However, AI doesn't understand the Quran the way a scholar does. It doesn't have faith, understanding, or spiritual insight. It processes words, not wisdom. It calculates probabilities, not divine guidance. While a scholar spends decades studying Arabic, fiqh, and hadith, AI simply pulls text from existing sources without truly understanding them. And here's where the problem begins. AI doesn't differentiate between authentic and weak hadiths, between different schools of thought, or between context-specific rulings. For example, if you ask an AI app about a controversial Islamic ruling, it may generate an answer based on whatever data it has been trained on, without verifying the source. Some AI apps have even been caught misquoting hadiths or taking verses out of context. Imagine the danger of someone basing their entire religious practice on such errors. The benefits and limitations of AI in Islamic knowledge. Let's be fair, AI Quran apps do have benefits. Instant access to information. AI can quickly provide tafsir and hadith references. Language assistance. They can translate Islamic texts into different languages. Convenience. Instead of searching through books, you can get quick responses. But these benefits come with serious limitations. Lack of context. AI doesn't understand the deeper meaning behind Quranic verses. No spiritual wisdom. AI lacks the spiritual connection that scholars develop over years of study. Possible misinformation. AI-generated answers may contain errors or misleading interpretations. No ijtihad. Independent reasoning scholars consider new evidence, context, and real-world implications. AI doesn't. And perhaps the biggest limitation, AI cannot provide moral or ethical judgment. It follows patterns, not divine wisdom. Scholars are more than just information providers. They are guardians of Islamic knowledge. They don't just recite verses. They understand them. They don't just memorize hadiths. They analyze them in the context of history, language, and jurisprudence. A scholar can tell you why a ruling exists, how it applies in modern times, and when exceptions might be made. AI cannot. A scholar can guide people based on their personal circumstances. AI treats every question the same. Think about this. If someone struggling with a personal issue asks an AI for guidance, will it provide them with a compassionate, tailored response? Or will it just spit out a generic answer without understanding the emotions behind the question? This is why Islamic scholars can never be replaced by AI, because Islam is not just about knowledge. It's about wisdom and human connection. Now, here's the real concern. Many people, especially the younger generation, are relying more on AI apps instead of scholars. Why? Because it's easier. Instead of spending years studying, they prefer a quick answer. But what happens when AI spreads incorrect information? What if someone follows a misinterpreted ruling that leads them away from the true path of Islam? There's also the issue of who controls the AI. Many AI-powered Islamic apps are developed by tech companies, not scholars. This means their answers can be influenced by biases, errors, or even agendas that do not align with authentic Islamic teachings. Imagine a future where AI filters religious answers to match modern trends instead of sticking to true Islamic principles. That's not just a possibility. It's already happening. Imagine this. A young Muslim, curious about their faith, sits down to pray. They open their phone, not to call an imam or seek guidance from a scholar, but to consult an AI-powered Quran app. The app promises instant answers to their religious questions, offering interpretations of the Quran, hadith explanations, and even personalized fatwas, all within seconds. It seems convenient. It's fast, accessible, and always available. But is this the future we want? Technology has always played a role in our understanding of Islam. From ancient scribes copying the Quran by hand to radio broadcasts of Friday sermons, innovation has shaped how we learn about our faith. But what happens when artificial intelligence takes on the role of our scholars, replacing the deep wisdom and spiritual insight that have guided Muslims for centuries? Does AI have the moral compass and spiritual understanding necessary to guide Muslims on the path of righteousness? Or does our increasing dependence on AI-driven Quran apps pose a danger to our faith, pushing us toward a future where knowledge is divorced from wisdom? This is a challenge we must confront as we navigate the rise of AI-powered Quran apps. With the rise of technology, AI has seamlessly entered every part of our lives. From social media algorithms shaping what we see, to voice assistants answering our questions, AI has become an inescapable force in our daily routines. For Muslims, one of the most significant advancements has been the creation of AI-powered Quran apps. These applications promise to bring Islamic knowledge to anyone with a smartphone, offering features such as instant tafsir exegesis of Quranic verses, hadith databases that can be searched by keyword, AI-powered fatwa generators that claim to provide Islamic rulings, voice recognition technology that allows users to ask religious questions and receive instant AI-generated responses. At first glance, this seems like a dream come true. Instead of searching through books or waiting to consult an imam, one can simply type a question and get an instant, well-researched answer. No need to leave your house, wait in a long line, or even engage in a discussion. Just type, ask, and receive. But here's the challenge. Who is really giving these answers? Are they reliable? And more importantly, are we at risk of replacing our scholars with artificial intelligence? Let's say you're about to break your fast, but you're unsure whether you can drink water after accidentally swallowing toothpaste. Instead of asking a scholar, you open your AI-powered Quran app and type in your question. Within seconds, the AI generates an answer. No, your fast is not valid. You must repeat it on another day. The answer seems authentic. It even includes a hadith reference. But here's the problem. If you had asked a real scholar, they would have told you that swallowing something by accident does not invalidate your fast. Yet, because the AI is designed to pull information from existing sources, it might provide an answer based on outdated, unauthentic, or misinterpreted information. And here's the danger. If you trust AI blindly, you won't question its accuracy. You won't ask, where is this ruling coming from? Or, does this align with scholarly consensus? You might end up following something that goes against Islamic teachings, thinking it's the truth. This is where the real challenge begins. By relying too much on AI, we risk distancing ourselves from true scholars, those who have dedicated their lives to understanding and interpreting Islam in its full depth. Islamic scholars are more than just people who memorize religious texts. They are trained in fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, hadith sciences, Arabic linguistics, and historical context. Their knowledge is built over years of study, mentorship, and real-life experience in handling religious matters. Unlike AI, they don't just give a robotic answer. They listen to people's unique situations, consider various aspects, and provide tailored guidance that aligns with the Quran and Sunnah. Let's compare. A scholar will ask you about your personal situation before issuing advice on a ruling. AI will not understand your personal challenges, background, or emotions. It will only give you a generic answer based on pre-existing data. A scholar will consider the context of a Quranic verse, looking at when and why it was revealed, its link to hadiths, and its application in today's world. AI will simply quote you the verse, without understanding its historical context or real-world implications. For example, some Quranic verses about war are meant for specific historical contexts. A scholar will explain the context of these verses, while an AI app might take them literally and out of context, which can be dangerous. AI can store information, but it cannot think, reason, or possess piety. Scholars don't just analyze texts. They live and breathe Islam. They understand the nuances of language, context, historical settings, and the spirit of the religion in a way that no algorithm can. A scholar can understand different schools of thought, Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, and explain their context. Consider intention, situation, and individual circumstances when giving Islamic guidance. Provide moral and ethical guidance beyond just mechanical answers. An AI, on the other hand, is not bound by Islamic principles. It cannot feel taqwa, God consciousness, nor can experience the real-life challenges that shape a scholar's wisdom. So can AI truly replace scholars? The answer is clear. No, AI is a tool. It can help, but it cannot replace a human scholar who has dedicated years to studying the Quran, hadith, and Islamic jurisprudence. AI lacks the spiritual wisdom, context, and human touch that make scholars essential. So the question is, will we use AI as a tool, or will we allow it to become our teacher, replacing the real scholars of Islam? The decision is in our hands. Subscribe now for more eye-opening discussions on AI and Islam.